Hey yo, and welcome to a hopefully fairly quick episode of Things of Interest. Reason being I pretty much just bought this on a whim. This is the NSVR Glass, a very obvious China-based alternative to the Nintendo Labo VR goggles. Now why would I pick something like this up? Well, two things. One, this was being sold for 55 Hong Kong dollars or roughly $7 US, which is a heck of a lot cheaper than the basic starter set, which costs $40 US for someone who's looking into an entry for VR on the Switch. Of course, that is assuming you only have interest in the VR modes of other games like Breath of the Wild and Captain Toad. But for real though, don't brush off the actual Labo stuff, the physical contraptions are like half the fun. The second reason I got it is that it claims to be a hands-free solution. Yes, this thingy comes with a head strap. So I'm definitely going to be putting it to the test to see if it's an okay alternative or something that can actually outshine the official version. Although I gotta say, this box isn't giving me much confidence, especially with those smaller lenses that I'm 90% sure is ripped straight from Google Cardboard. You can't boldly proclaim big and go on your packaging when your lenses are obviously smaller than the official product. Anyway, let's just get it out. The whole package consists of a bubble-wrapped pack with the lens and stickers, and obviously a cardboard sheet with the head strap tucked inside. Now, a general inspection of the cardboard shows that it's definitely not the type of soft, cheap cardboard that you'd see on regular packaging. I actually can't really tell the difference between this and the cardboard on the official Labo sets, so that's impressive since I expected them to cheap out on every aspect of it already. Let's also check out those lenses, and yeah, this is totally lifted from your most basic Google Cardboard headset. I guess we can't have the luxury of plastic when you gotta keep the budget low. I assume the smaller size of the lenses compared to that on the official Labo headset is definitely going to have some impact on the final image, but we'll have to see once we build the whole thing. So the building instructions are... sorry, I got a bit carried away. So the building instructions are printed directly on the back of the box. Obviously they don't have Nintendo's budget to make a fully interactive 3D tutorial on a game system, but it's still easy to follow. The main cardboard sheet itself actually has most of its folds already creased. All you gotta do is deal with the smaller folds and poke out the holes. After that, you just slot the protrusions on the lens through the holes on the main body. You can tell if the lens is facing the right side through the different lengths of the slots, so that's a fairly clever design. Also, actually getting the thing through requires a bit of force. I mean, hooray for sturdiness, I guess? Well, wrap the whole thing up, stick all the tabs in the slots, and you're already halfway there. Next up, you gotta stick these tabs of Velcro onto the main body for the head strap to fasten onto. I just realized that's how they meant the entire headset to be supported, and that makes me slightly uneasy. But anyway, the small Velcro patches go on the top, sides, and front, with their placement noted by the coloring on the cardboard itself. How considerate of them. I was just notified by my non-existent legal team to stop saying a trademarked name, and to call these things hook and loop fasteners instead. Doesn't have the same ring to it. Anyway, after sticking all that, you got the long piece of furry tape, which goes onto the top like this. This allows the headset to close up after you put the switch in from the top, since the sides will mostly be occupied by the head strap. Before we can slap the head strap on the hairy patches though, we got one more thing to apply, which is this sponge sticker-like thing here. Apparently, you're supposed to add this to the rim of the visor area, so that cardboard isn't pressed directly against your face while you're wearing it. I guess it works? Okay, before we put the head strap onto it, I gotta see how the VR looks like. So you just open up the fabric fasteners at the top here, slot the switch in, and close it up. And it looks decent. It's not too far off from the official headset, minus the reduced view area from the smaller lenses. If you've never tried VR on the Switch, it's actually a pretty good experience despite the low resolution on the screen. What it lacks in image quality, Nintendo more than makes up for with the experiences they provide with it. Also, the Switch logo is visible on the back, so that's neat, I guess. Now, one flaw I've started noticing is that there's really nothing stopping the Switch from just sliding out when you tilt the headset. Since compared to the official headset, the fit on it is not as tight, and there's absolutely no sponge stickers lined up inside to provide a bit of protection or friction. This would mean that the only thing that can stop the console from falling out is the head strap, so let's just put that on real quick. Just take the free ends, wrap them around the prickly patches like so, and there you have it. Now this does look like it could fall apart at any second, but giving it a few preliminary tugs, it does appear to stay on. The adhesive on those sticky slabs are actually fairly strong. Putting the whole thing on, it does appear to work. The strap just barely fits the size of my head, but it still manages to stay on even with the Switch weighing it down. Of course, that also means that your head has to support the Switch's weight as well, but it's not as intrusive as I expected. I can still look around and use the Joy-Cons to aim no problem. Tilting my head also doesn't make the console just slip out, although I wouldn't put all of my faith into the head strap no matter how sturdy it might seem. This is a cheap alternative after all, so you gotta be cautious when using it. Also, this is sort of a redundant question, but I wanted to know the answer anyway. Does this headset fit into the other Labo VR Toy-Con like the official one would? And the answer is yes, if you remove the head strap entirely. With that in mind, there's only like 3 negative points that I'm mostly worrying about. The first is the possibility of the head strap failing on you mid-game. The second is the smaller viewing area due to the size of the lens. Now normally this wouldn't be too big of a problem, but I found that while playing games like Zelda Breath of the Wild in VR, HUD elements that are on the edge of the screen like your health meter are essentially unviewable. So that's something you gotta keep in mind. The third is the lack of protection for the console itself. Like I said, the official headset has sponge stickers on the inside, so you can slide the system in and it'll mostly be held in place with minimal movement and damage to the screen. But with this cheaper one, you just plop the system in and surround it with cardboard. And if you don't already have a screen protector applied, I'd imagine it wouldn't stay too pristine with prolonged use. That said, this is made out of cardboard, so it's probably trivial to just apply some sponge stickers on it yourself. I just wish the manufacturers also included them in the package as well. Oh, and a PSA, don't put the headset down like this with the system inside, it'll misbalance and just tip over like that. But overall, this is a passable alternative to the official Labo VR headset, if you have no interest in paying the full $40 for the starter set no matter how I try to convince you that the blaster is really freaking fun. It's mostly comfortable and fits your head just as well as its official counterpart does. The lack of protection on the inside means you'll have to be a bit careful when using it with your system, but if you're just using it for the compatibility with other games, you won't be using it too frequently anyway. With that in mind, I feel the approximate price of $7 is still worth it to experience games like Captain Toad and Mario Odyssey in VR. Just keep in mind that some games like Smash Bros. Can actually be controlled with split Joy-Con, so you gotta connect them to the Switch and hold it in front of your face while you play, like the rest of us heathens. Anyway, that's it for today's episode of Things of Interest, and I'll catch you guys in another episode. Thank you for watching and have a great day.